Good morning, students. This is Mukesh Shah, PGT English, going to present my second video for the students of class 12th. Students, in my previous video, I discussed first poem. Now I am going to present my second video on the poem second, that is an elementary school classroom in a slum. Student, this poem is composed by Stephen Spandell, an English poet and essayist. In his career, Stephen did not complete even his degree. Before completing his degree, he left his college and he took interest in politics also. In his poems, we can see his clear-cut inclination towards the society, towards the people of the world. Most of the poems which he has dealt with are based on the day-to-day problems of the people and the physical, social and economical condition of the people. In this poem, he has described the scene of a classroom which is in a slum area. The poet is very much concerned about these people and he has really drawn a clear-cut picture of the slum area. So, line by line I am going to discuss with this poem. Far from gusty waves, these children's faces like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor, the tall girl with her head weighed down, the paper-seeming boy with red eyes, the stunted, unlucky hire of twisted bones, reciting father's funeral disease. His lessons from his desk at back of the class, unnoted, sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in a tree room other than this. Student, this is the 8-line stanza, so we can call it an octet. Here the poet tells us that the students or the children who belong to slum area, they are sitting in a classroom which is far from the gusty winds, means they are not supposed to have fresh air, means they do not feel fresh air into the classroom. The classroom is in such an area where there is no way to reach air. It is like a closed room without window. There is no proper mean of ventilation in the classroom. Out of the children, these faces of the children are looking like as if they are a rootless weed. Rootless weed means when a weed is devoid of its root, when the roots of it weed are cut, then it becomes yellow. You can perform an experiment in your day-to-day life. You just take out a plant and cut its root and leave it for only few hours. You will feel that it is becoming yellow. It turns from green to yellow. Similarly, the poet says the children's faces are like rootless weeds. Here the poetic device is simile. Faces are looking like rootless weeds, means their faces are yellowish in color. Out of these children, there is a tall girl who is sitting among them. Her head is down because of the weight of the head. Doesn't mean that she is not capable of bearing the weight of her head, but because of malnutrition, poor conditions which are prevalent in their society, she is sitting, bending her head. And in the children there is one boy who is looking like a paper. Looking like a paper means he is very thin and lean, weak. So here is the poet is calling him paper-seeming boy. Metaphor is used. His eyes are like red eyes, very small eyes. means these eyes are inward. This shows how malnutrited they are. The stunted, unlucky, high rock twisted bones means he is repeating the disease which is inherited from his father. The child is repeating the disease which his father was suffering from, means he is also suffering from the same disease like tuberculosis. It is inherited disease. If someone's father is suffering from tuberculosis, most likely the chances are there that the bird will also be suffering from the same disease, because they are living in the same conditions, same environment, under the same roof. Therefore, the chances of being infected from tuberculosis becomes higher. So the child is reciting, means the child is repeating his parental disease. And he is repeating his lesson sitting among the class students at his desk. At the back of the dim class, means the class is very dim, there is no mean of light, there is no source of light in the class. Out of these children, at the back there is one unnoted child is sitting, means nobody is looking at him, he is unnoted, nobody is taking care of him, nobody is aware about him, he is unnoted, he is sitting. He is very sweet and young. His eyes live in the dream of squirrel's game. Actually, sitting at the back of the class, he is looking out of the class in a tree where a squirrel is playing on the tree hole. The squirrel which has made a hole into the tree, and it is coming out of the hole and going into the hole. So the child is happily looking at the tree where the squirrel is playing. The child who is unnoted looking at the squirrel which is playing. Here the poet has called tree room. Tree room is a hole into the tree in which the squirrel is living. On sour cream walls, Donnison's and Shakespeare's head cloudless at dawn. Means in this class at the back on the walls, some Donnison's means the articles which are gifted by people, they are hanging. One of these articles is the picture of Shakespeare. It is headless picture, only the picture of head is hanging on the wall. The walls, the poet says, the walls of the room are sour cream. Sour cream is the cream color which has been faded away. At the dawn, cloudless. It is early in the morning. There are no clouds in the sky. Means the morning weather is quite clear. The civilized dome riding all cities. Here the civilized dome means the people of the civilized world. Poet means to say the people of the civilized world. Civilized world means people who are rich. They are riding in their cars, on their motorcycles or in their vehicles. It is morning, the weather is quite clear, people are riding towards their places. Whether it is their office or towards the market, means they are riding. This symbolizes that those who are prosperous, those who are rich, they are busy in their work. Wild, flowery Tyrol Valley. Tyrol Valley is in Italy. The poet is comparing or contrasting the situation of the people or the children who are sitting into the classroom of in a slum area to the people who are living in the valley-like situation, where Tyrol Valley, which is always full of flowers, shiny, always attractive. Poet says those people who are living in the civilized world, they are rich and prosperous. They are just like the people who are living in Tyrol Valley, happy, shining always. They are having enough light in their lives, enough light in their surroundings also. Open-handed map. Open-handed map means the poet says the map which the people have drawn according to their will. If we see in our surroundings, there is no definite map. If I like that my house will have an entrance at this day, at this area, I will make my house according to that. The neighbor is willing that I will not make any entrance, I will make my entrance from the other side, he can make the entrance from the other. Means, here the poet wants to tell us that the map of the world means people who have made the world according to their own will. Therefore, it is called open-handed map. Open-handed means according to the will. Awarding the world its own world means the people who have made the world according to their own needs, according to their own desires, they have produced their own world. They are nowhere concerned with the world of the other people, though they are nowhere concerned about the people who are living in the same world. They are busy in themselves. And yet for these children, these windows, not the map. When we talk of the children who are sitting in the slum classroom, for the children there is no meaning of this open-handed map. It is not meant for them. It is not for them. Their world where all their future painted with a fog. Future painted with a fog means future of uncertainty. Means the open-handed map, the map which was drawn by the people or the world which was made by the people according to their own will has no connection with the people or the students or the children who are sitting into the slum classroom. For them, this classroom is their future, which is of uncertainty. Okay, thank you very much. In my next video, I will discuss about the next two quadrants.